Hi, Mr. Cornwell.
Hello, Martin.
Hi. Before we go into music, one question pre-music. You studied biochemistry?
Yeah.
And then you went to Sweden to do a postgraduate research?
Yeah, I tried, yeah.
What were you planning to research over there in Sweden?
Well, I started to work in the field of brain chemistry because I was quite interested in schizophrenia. I spent 1.5 years trying to make evidence for a certain enzyme in the brain, and if I could demonstrate that this existed, which everyone suspected it existed, but no one could prove it. So I was trying to prove this, and if I could have done that, I would have been very famous. But it didn't work. I couldn't get it to work, and I spent the same experiment over and over and over again for 2 years. And then I started working with a man to find a new way to diagnose folic acid deficiency to save people's lives. And I think I've saved some people's lives with this method, because it was about 36 hours to make the test, by which time sometimes it's too late to save people. And we made it so it only took 20 minutes.
Okay.
And that was published. So I did something good. But I had to work with people's urine, sucking up in a pipette, not into my mouth, but sucking up and doing experiments, with people's urine.
Okay.
So it's not the best job to do, but it was quite rewarding.
Okay. And why were you interested in schizophrenia?
Yeah, I was just interested in it, and of course it would have really been of benefit. I like to think. I think if you're working in science, you hope that you are doing something which is going to bring benefit to people rather than just a cosmetic thing.
Yeah, and well, you already were into music back then.
Yeah.
But what made you decide to quit actually this research?
Because I wasn't very good at it. I mean, I was interested in it, but I was not diligent. I was not disciplined in this thing, and when I was in the laboratory, I was not very good. You have to have a affinity with things, and my affinity was with music, to do that, to try to do that well, and I like that as well. So it was not a difficult choice, because I think that it's important to try, and a lot of people do jobs that they are good at but they don't actually like. But I think it's important to do something that you're good at, even if you don't like it, because in the end you still have the satisfaction of knowing that you did a good job, even though you don't. A lot of people hate their jobs, but they know that they're good at them. And I think that's the right way round. You're better off doing something you're good at rather than something that you're no good at. Because if you're no good at something, even if you love it, you will never feel happy.
But do you like being a musician?
Well, and I hope I'm doing quite well in it. I have the signs back from people that I'm quite proficient. So I'm hoping to get better.
Are there any similarities for you between science and music? The way you see it?
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities. You have to. Well, it's similar with anything. Anything that, if you're trying to prove something. I mean, in the music, I'm trying to prove that the songs I write are as good as anything else out there in the world. But to do that, you have to find an audience. So in order to find an audience, you have to work very hard. And in science, you are trying to achieve something that hasn't been proved, so it's proving something. And in music, you're sort of trying to prove something as well. So.
And the way you write your songs, is it something to do with analyze your songs, chord structures? Is it something to do with doing some? That's
not really a scientific thing, because when you're doing your experiments, you could call writing songs experiments. But in science, you have to plan your experiments for weeks in advance before you start. And then you might have to do the same experiment again and again and again and again to try to find something wrong. But in music, it's a little bit more spontaneous. I think songs tend to be a bit more spontaneous than that. And if you spend too long analysing a song, you will end up maybe not writing the best thing.